Hello everyone, welcome to another Vampire Survivors weekend bonus content spectacular. I hope your week is going well. It is Saturday. It's actually Wednesday for me when I'm recording this, but it goes up Saturday. Fucking a little low because I'm the only one up in the house right now, and it's like we actually got a bit of ice last night. I'm a bit surprised. It's still coming down, kind of. So, what do we have going on? We got some cash to spend. So, what do we want to spend it on? Growth? Growth and greed are both good aspects. Okay, just two. Because then they give you more value, more bang for your buck, and then these kind of all fill in pretty cheap. So, what run are we doing today? I haven't bought any of these people. They cost 600. Have I played with Pascalina yet? I don't believe I have. Yes, we beat Mad Forest with Pascalina. Okay. I haven't beat Mad Forest with Antonio, but looks like I still need to beat the Inlaid Library. So let's see if we can't give the Inlaid Library a go with Antonio Bellface. Oh, I have Hyper unlocked. Let's get Fire on. Do I have a galactic map yet? I don't know. I don't want any of these. Axe is not the greatest for this level, since it's got a degree of verticality, but I would rather have the candelabra than any of those. I don't know, garlic actually evolved is pretty good. Oh, do I want duplicator? That'd be lightning ring. I'm okay with that. Again, it synergizes with a lot of things. Let's see. So there will be a coffin to the right. So that might be the thing we do today, is we try to get this coffin. Even though I haven't spent any money on locking coffins. Oh, that's unfortunate. I can grab this and hope I get Rune Tracer. I don't know if I've unlocked Rune Tracer yet. Yeah, I hope your week is going well. I'm recording this a little bit in advance because I need to record like next week's this weekend. I do have Rune Tracer. Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's get that going. Because honestly, I'm like kind of tired. I literally woke up and was like, I need to record this now if I'm going to get everything I want and need to get done today. Because I got quite a bit. I'm gonna still try to do my exercise. I need to do the bed sheets. I need to change the bed linens. I need to cook dinner today. Oh, what else? So I just need candelabra and the lightning ring. What else? I gotta run to the store to cook dinner. Everybody in the house wants spaghetti, so that'll take a minute to do. Luckily, spaghetti is one of those easy, fast meals. We're gonna grab King's Bible. That is one of my tried and true favorites, especially when it gets turned on. So I think I'm just holding out for the holding out for a magic wand. We got Spellbinder. We will grab that. Is today the day we get the 6 items evolved? I hope so. I'm just missing. Oh, maybe not. I'm missing lightning. And oh, I wasn't even thinking about Fire Wand. Yeah. Alright. Get this. Hope. Yeah, I guess Candelabra didn't show up. I just did a little miscalculation. We'll definitely get 5 of the 6, but we are not going to get the 6 items evolved in this run. I wasn't paying attention, I guess, to the number of slots I had and what I had. I kind of forgot about needing the Candelabra, and that never came up. So that's a bit on me, and not holding out for the lightning ring with the for the duplicator. I completely blanked on that. Having a bit of coffee here. I just woke up. I'm waking up. But yeah, so we're traveling around for the next week. We're gonna go visit a few Christmas markets in Europe, and I'm kind of excited for that. It'll be fun. We are traveling by train. I know not everyone's like a super fan of trains, but I'll say it like this, like where I live, like we don't even have by the rest of Europe standards, a good train system. And I still enjoy the trains we have here more than what you get in America. Alright, I think we're just largely trying to collect up. Guess I could have held out for a Santa Water. That would give me Magnet Orb. That would be good. But yeah, I hope everyone's day is going well. I'm tired. I did kettlebells yesterday. I'm trying to get my exercise up to like 6 days a week. I'm all back in on trying to get the summer bod happening. No, it's also more just I need to exercise more to be healthier. That's I think a goal everyone can kind of reach for. Just being active and healthy is not a bad thing. You know, I keep trying to encourage my husband to be a bit more active. I can't do it for him. I can try to encourage him. Even if it was just getting out for a daily walk. I think probably part of the problem is he wants me to go on those daily walks, but if I'm doing kettlebells and on the bike and it's cold out, I don't want to go out for a walk. But if he absolutely wants me to, I will. Because it's that important to me that he gets some more exercise in his day. He tends to I love him to death. And I know a lot of his work involves sitting at the computer and just absorbing huge amounts of information and researching things. But you can't be that set in it in your lifestyle. Like, I think it's just important that you get up and be somewhat active. That's like like, what was it I was watching, and this is like the thing they don't tell you in gym or PE class, but really what they're saying is like, and I wish they told you this more in high school and in school, it's like, oh no, we're being active, but when you graduate and you work an office job, like, it's on you to be active. Like, your body just starts falling apart. It starts failing you. Like, if America was really interested in tackling, like, obesity and the health concerns, like, they would make gyms free. You know, just encourage people to go to the gym or some sort of rebate. You know, I've been saying this for a long time. I think it's imperative that insurance companies work with a like gym chain or national gym chain to encourage people to just go and get to the gym. Go out to the gym, go exercise. And so it's like, if insurance want to save costs, they would work with a gym to get a discounted rate for its members, so that, like, even if like 2% went to the gym, you'll probably see a savings as people just are healthier, you know. But again, I think that also comes down to like our lifestyle. I think there needs to be a return to urbanization in America. Like, God, the suburb, I can't think of a more depressing look and feel than the suburbs in America. It is just flat out depressing out there. And it's not our fault. I'd say it was, you know, a generation or two before us that kind of set this into motion by not, because everybody wanted that American dream, a cheap little house, which there's no cheap little houses left. So you don't get a cheap little house. You have a expensive little house if you want to have your own place. But just the expansion outwards from cities, the cookie cutter homes. I think one of the worst things that I see now with construction and them doing the suburbs is just this clear cutting of trees on the plot of land and not leaving any trees left. God, that's just depressing. It is. There's no shade, there's no birds, there's no wildlife. It is just sadness and depression. It is like looking at it's like looking at the bad guy from Fern Gully and like he won. Yeah, Fern Gully. That's a deep dive. Like, I remember watching that movie, and I don't think like it's in our collective conscience anymore. That had fucking Robin Williams voicing one of the main character, or one of the characters. Not even like a main character, like a side character, but I guess that was also for like the start of celebrity voice acting. There's like, if there's one thing I wish they could undo was the celebrity voice actor in like animated movies. I've watched several like YouTube videos kind of detailing like why it's not the best. I'm not saying they're not talented, but like there's nothing wrong with having no-name voice actors. They don't have to be like well known to be on screen, and I don't know. It's just in this day and age, it's like they want to attach a recognize and no name to everything now. How much further do we have? We are almost to that coffin anyway. I don't know. It's just like sadness and depression. Like I don't know what happened or where things are going wrong in our modern world. I don't propose to know either. It's just like there are deep issues that we all need to kind of come together and solve, and no one wants to be the one to do it. Like global warming is something that's going to affect all of us here in the near future, and we have done nothing to try to fix it. Nothing. Got ourselves another hero here. Giovanna Reina. Like, I think, and I really say that, like, that is something right now that is, and requires a global effort if we're going to fix it, and we have just done nothing. The things that we've proposed, like carbon emissions, carbon offsets, you know, shooting for zero emission cars in 2030, and it's like no one's talking big picture. Like, well, instead of having cars, like what if we just rethink our living situation? Like, no one's like, why do we need cars? It's I need a car, and I'm just talking very American centric. I live in a town where we actually don't own like a modern car. We own a little silly hobbyist car from like the 1980s. That literally, no joke, has a 2-stroke engine, which again we can talk like is not the best, but we also only drive it around town, and it's on occasion we drive it. It is not a daily driver. It is not something we drive everywhere. I get that being a 2-stroke motor is not good. It literally is pumping oil residue into the air, but I digress. I mean, it has a catalytic converter in it technically, but I don't think a catalytic converter catalyzes oil. I think it's something to do with, is it sulfur dioxide? I could be wrong, but I think that's the main purpose of a catalytic converter, to try to stop acid rain and that sort of thing. Anyway, my point is, like, we get by with walking, riding our bike around town, or going up to the train station and taking the train station to where we're going. Like this weekend traveling, we are taking the train. We can always rent a car if we want to or need to, and maybe that's how we model our lifestyles, is we don't have a car, but only rent a car when you need it, that sort of thing. If you can get around your town on a bicycle, sweet. But this idea that you gotta drive an hour to half an hour to your work every day, you're telling me that you wouldn't rather spend that time? Again, I would also kind of say, like, work from home. COVID kind of showed us that, like, you can implement work from home and save, like, the pictures were amazing when, like, people stopped driving to work for that short period of time, and, like, the air quality in LA improved, air qualities around the world improved. So we just need to be willing to all agree that, like, yeah, you work from home. People are like, well, what about all the commercial real estate? Convert it into, like, residential. Provide a tax break so that any company that's underwater on their commercial real estate can get out of it at a profit, because that I know how America works, and convert that commercial space into residential. Like those tall office buildings. You're telling me those tall office buildings in the downtown core wouldn't become luxury condominiums and apartments overnight? They sure as heck would. Especially in, like, places like imagine the financial district of Toronto. Like, it's got this thick downtown core of these high-rise buildings. Like, they have tons of high-rise condominiums. They have shoe boxes people are living in. Trust me, I've seen them. Me and my husband own a place in Toronto. We rent it out because we don't live in Toronto. It is 800 square feet. It is tiny, and it is almost valued at $1 million, because that's just how insane, mind you, Canadian. That's just how insane the real estate market in Canada is. Things are cooling. That's largely due to interest rates. But there's still demand. There's just so much demand for housing. And I had that talk, and he's like, well, they're still going to be dumb expensive. Yeah, they are. And he said, like, well, who's going to want to live downtown? Everyone. Everyone wants to be in the city. You get some people that are done with the city and they want to move out to the burbs. I'm more of I wouldn't mind living the country life. Like, I kind of kid with him, but I'm also kind of serious. Like, I want to buy a farm. Let's buy a farm. Let's raise some cows. Let's raise some pigs. Get some sheep, some goats, and just, like, have a taste of that country life. Like, it's a lot of work to run a farm. I know, but it's also, like, I think there's some good in that activity, But my point is, like, people always will want to live in the city. People always want. He's like, people will just want to move away where it's cheaper. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people will want to move where it's cheaper. But if a bunch of people move where it's cheaper, then yeah, that would create, like, a drop in demand in the downtown core, and those prices would come down. People would buy them up. Prices would rise again. Like, you will always have someone that wants to live in the city. And I say that because, like, there's so much you can do in the city. There's just so much going on. And I point to Toronto because, like, I think Toronto has a nice mix between outdoor and city life, and, like, it's just some of the most beautiful parks I've ever seen around the waterfront. Like, it's not New York in the sense that, like, New York, I love New York, I love Manhattan, but Manhattan's depressing. There is, with the exception of like Central Park, there is no green. Like, it is just this hellscape of like brick and asphalt. Even when you get to the water's edge, in and around the Hudson, it is just, to me, this like kind of depressing hellscape. I love New York, I love Manhattan, I love, again, being close to everything. I think people in New York probably have the right idea, because you can just ride a bike or walk or take a taxi or take one of the many public transportation options. You don't need to own a car in Manhattan. People that own cars in Manhattans are just showing off their wealth anyway. Because who can park a car in Manhattan? You know, like, I think, and this was like probably in the 90s, I remember them talking about this parking space that went for like $300,000 in New York. And I'm like, that's the real estate. That's why. That's property. But like, can you imagine that buys you a house and a big plot of land down south for $300,000? So it's the dichotomy of it. It's I get that demand and value and all that stuff. We just really need to rethink how we live in America. We need to have, like, we really need to have a tough conversation. Our America's way of life is not necessarily the only way or the right way. And we need to start holding our politicians accountable and, like, start having really, really tough conversations about what sustainability looks like. You know, these big, you know, unless there's monetary like value in it, no one's going to do it. So maybe when they do build a suburb, provide a tax break, or even just pass a regulation that says you need to keep X amount of trees on the land. You need to have X amount of green space. You can't just go in and clear cut. You can go in on a lot and like only like 80% of the lot can be cleared of trees or something like that. But that's going to take us to demand it. You know, it seems wild that, like, growing up in and around my house, I watched several big subdivisions go in. Just these big, huge tracts of just houses and roads and kind of cookie cutter homes. I think there used to be a little bit more customization that used to occur when a housing development went in, and then now I think they've realized like the demand for cheap, quick housing is there, and so they can get away with like, yeah, we're just building one style house. They buy like one house floor plan, they get a list of things that they need for that house, and then they times it by however many houses they're building, because that just makes their job easier. They don't have to spend a lot of time resourcing a bunch of individual things from a list if they just know everything is exactly the same and interchangeable house to house. But my God, is it depressing. It is just sadness. You know, I love my brother. I know he is trying to get his life on track. But when I was visiting this summer, like, they had just moved into this house that they're renting, which thank God they're renting it, but like, I looked around and I'm just like, this is the most depressing neighborhood I have ever seen in my life. Like, I kind of actually give my husband a bit of shit because we had like some trees in the yard, and when he remodeled this house, technically it was my boyfriend, so I couldn't tell him what to do. He had carte blanche. It was his house. It's our house now, but it was his house. I would have definitely pushed for him to keep the trees. I think everyone was telling him, "Oh, you need to cut these down. They're gonna invade the foundation." I don't think so. I think if he was truly worried about it, he could have gotten an expert out to look at it. I don't think so. There are no trees in my yard, and I keep pushing and pressing him, like, can we grow some fruit trees? Can we grow any trees? I keep trying to get him to let me plant a walnut tree. He's like, oh, it will take like 30 or 40 years to get big. I'm like, yeah, but talking about it's not helping it grow in the yard. You know, we need to plant that sucker now. So I just would like some trees in the yard. It's like maybe the one thing that bugs me. But it's like, I think I also kind of grew up in the woods. I didn't grow up in a subdivision. I grew up on like this dirt road that had 5 houses on it. I lived out in the woods. Like, my days, I'd get home from school and my afternoons were spent like exploring the woods. Like, I just have this, like, I guess this kinship with the trees. Like, that sounds, I know, very hippie or new age bullshit, but like, I definitely feel energized from the trees. Like, being able to go out and be in the woods, be in the forest, even if it's in a park setting or space, it rejuvenates me to kind of see that green foliage. I guess you don't notice the things you miss until you're missing them, if that makes sense. You know, like, and that's why I say, like, these suburban hells where they just clear cut the whole tract to build cookie cutter houses is just, to me, a hellscape, because you got some of these like forests that they're old and have these great big trees that would be fun for kids to play in or sit under and relax on a hot day. And I think it's just sad. I think it's sad to look at. And that's me being honest. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be a hippie. I'm just saying, like, what I remember growing up versus, like, what the reality is now. And I would say the reality now is just a depressing, sad hellscape. Oh, it's like, why didn't an axe evolve yet? And we're now realizing, oh, that's right, I need to find a magnet orb. I really want to, like, try to soak up all of this XP, but I guess without over levels, once I evolve the Hollow Heart, it's just going to be about getting money and 4 chickens. Oh, not Hollow Heart, armor. So, I'm not trying to be a hippie, I'm not trying, this is me, this is who I am. Like, I like the trees. I think there are other ways in which we can live in a more harmonious, like, balance with nature. It's just, and it's gonna sound like I'm being critical of America, but like, when you literally do spend time outside of living in America, you really kind of start to see like how things could be. Like, what life in America could look like pushing for rail systems that help everyone. Again, and this is something I'm kind of always critical of America, is like we always operate. I was kind of joking, but the other day with a friend, but it's like America doesn't do anything, but operates on this idea of profits. If it's not profitable, it's not worth doing. Like, sometimes social programs involve doing things that aren't profitable. Sometimes public transportation means running routes that aren't profitable but help to serve an underserved community. You know, it doesn't have to be profitable, because the whole idea is it's a public entity, and that if it has a shortcoming, if there is a less profitable route, we can always fall back on that public help and that public funding to help support the communities that are in need of support. Like, I think that's what kind of gets lost in this, oh, we can't do it unless there's profits argument, is I think people often forget that there are people involved on the other side that sometimes don't have the money but need this service, need a bus route out and from like outside the city into the city. It might not be profitable because like maybe 5 people a day ride it, but it probably serves as a lifeline for those 5 people a day that ride it. Again, just living more in the city, mixed residential, mixed use. I don't even think this is the first time I've had this conversation on stream. I don't even know how I ended up. I think Ferngully is how I like sneaked my way to this. I don't know why fucking Ferngully came up. Because yeah, it was weird. There was like this whole like period in the 90s where we had this like environmentalist based like entertainment for children. And it's like, you do not see that anymore. Doing bread and circuses, right? We don't have to talk about the problem if we just ignore a problem is occurring. It's hella depressing. I don't know how we fix things. I don't know how we improve things. Again, I think part of the problem is there's like this idea that as individual effort together will combine to create a big force, but like the fact is people are lazy. I'm one of them. I'm lazy. I know I'm lazy. But it takes effort from us all to like say this is a problem and we all need to work together to fix it. Not recognizing global warming is like a peril to the human race, and just like, yeah, well, let's keep going, doing what we're doing. Oh, big stretch. Let's drill for oil. No problems to see here. It's insane to me, truly it is. And I'm curious to see what the next 30 years of my life look like, but I don't think we're gonna make any serious inroads or any serious tackling of global warming in a way that fixes and addresses the problem. you know, we should have, where we are now is probably where we should have been at the end of the 90s. We should have been addressing the issue of global warming more seriously, and I think had Gore been elected over Bush Jr., I think things would have been very different. I do. I think he was very much in tune already with environmental issues, with a need to focus on greenhouse gases, global warming, all that stuff. I didn't look at the time. We're coming up to the end of this. Can we? The inlaid library. Just gotta survive 30 seconds. I don't even need that poor chicken yet. We got good knockback from the King's Bible, so we're actually holding off quite well. And it probably helps that I have the whip evolved. The whip evolved in this level is really, really good. Alright, there's the big push. We've got 10 seconds to survive. Let's just try to see if I can't milk this for some money, actually. Because I seem to be able to hold my own on this. Yeah, good run. Good run, if I must say so. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a bunch of things. 7 items. Got 2 guys. We unlocked her. Found rosary. Find a rosary. Find a stone mask. Earn 5,000 coins in a single run. And evolve King's Bible. Nice, so we should have like a bunch of characters to unlock, but I'm going to spend that all on power-ups. If you made it this far, please consider like commenting and subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for listening to my rant today. I know I went on a tangent. And I hope the rest of your weekend goes well. More Vampire Survivors content will be on tomorrow. And let me say, have a good night, have a good evening, have a good time of whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.